attention, baby. I can't make a move like a child.
After a quiet and uneventful night, it was time to start the next day's adventures. At Dingo Tops Campground, you can embark on the Red Cedar Walk, a 2-kilometer trail that descends through the dense, dark canopies of an ancient rainforest into the valley. These paths lead you towards a small creek before ascending back up the hill to the road. Interestingly, this walk is no longer listed on the National Park's website, suggesting that maintenance might not be a priority for National Park services. Despite this, the walk with its 100-meter elevation change remains a worthwhile experience for those visiting the area.
That belongs on that tree.
What's that?
That leaves belong to that tree, oh? Or is that from the... No. No, that's from that vine.
The tree is dead.
Yeah, the tree is dead, and that's from that vine which wraps around it.
Yep.
But look at here, the vine has these tiny offshoots. So the leaves appear, they come out of the tree.
Yeah, when the sunshine, so... This is fine here.
Here the walk is named after Red Cedar. Some leeches here, look at these, they're already feeding.
I thought they were different to them.
I say you eat them all and we see what
and
happens. So I'm gonna do a leech inspection. I already pulled a few off. Yeah, she knows where their blood is. Nodding bull incoming, kilometer marker 44. We're in a state forest here, and there can be logging activity, so they have kilometer markers and the UHF channel, which is 24, and it's worthwhile to lookout. It's worthwhile to shout that through at every marker. Last time we were here, we had logging activities, and that big logging trucks, they are fast here. So yeah, if that is advised, definitely worthwhile doing, though I don't think so there's any logging activity or any trucks coming here, at least from the road usage. It looks like it.
Next on our to-do list was the walk up to Rowleys Lookout. If you are looking for a challenging hike with a rewarding view, tackle the steep 40-minute climb to Rowleys Lookout. Despite the tough ascent, enough to have me cursing both times I've done it, the panoramic views from 1,000 meters above sea level are worth every step. Catch your breath and enjoy unparalleled views of the park and the ocean beyond. From the viewing platform, see the Kapara Creek catchment to the southeast and the expansive forest hinterland towards Norwendock in the west. Below, the Head and Shoulders cliff offers a dramatic rocky scenery, and you might even spot a wedge-tailed eagle soaring overhead.
Good to see it's still open. I like that. Job. They made that all new. Last time, or the first time I was here, you still had that old little wobbly steel ladder up. They
she's pretty cute now.
Fancied it all up now.
Yes, it's magnificent, isn't it?
Yeah, I always thought of
deck chair in there.
putting the stretcher up here, a deck chair in here.
Yeah. And there's the hook for the rope.
Yeah.
You see what they do with that? You know what they do with that?
No, what?
What they have a string from there
Yeah.
to there,
Yeah.
and around the wall they'll have a map, and
and the guy will stand behind the string and indicate where the fire is.
Ah.
And that gives him a line up on that map.
Ah. Okay, the map is up here then.
Well, mostly in other fire towers,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they probably have something, and I'll give it a latitude reading or a view.
Ah.
So he stands behind the string and he can see exactly that's Mount whatever,
Yeah.
and there's the smoke, so that's where the fire is.
Learn something new, chap.
There you go.
So,
It's
string here.
Yeah, onto that
String there.
light bulb.
Ah.
And most of the other towers I've been in will have a... Yeah, see there it is.
Yeah, I
there,
have
it's
the
painted
markers,
over.
huh?
See all the marks?
Yeah.
And that tells you, that one says Barra's Mountain, 19 kilometres. So if
Yeah.
he was standing here with his string, that's the Barra's Mountain straight across there.
Yeah. Ah.
Yeah, they're all marked. Butterfly, 19 kilometres.
Yeah. You should say you lived in one of their towers for a week.
I did for a week, yes, up at Mount Terrible in Victoria. Bush Rush Rock, 29 kilometres. So I don't know these landmarks, but that'll be from that point. That's straight over there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the maps, and I think we're gonna go to the Rapids. Apparently there is a nice swimming hole, so we'll see how that goes. And then we go to Ellenborough Falls, have a look. I had that now a few times, where ExplorOz just loses its bearings, where it is. Not so here, but come on, where are we? I was on top of Blue Knob, so definitely should have reception here. There we're coming. And it creates now phantom track, which is super annoying. Oh, that are the rapids. Oh, that's quite nice. The rapids are located right next to gravel road and the car park. Someone put his camper trailer up and set up camp there. It looks quite nice, and there's a nice swimming pool. However, after the rain we had, it seems like there was a lot of runoff from the surrounding fields and paddocks, and the water wasn't really that inviting, so we just had a quick look and then we moved on. The rapids are not too far from Ellenborough Falls. I have seen them on the maps many times, but I've never actually been there, so I'm glad to have a look at the Ellenborough Falls today as well. Now guys, here at Ellenborough Falls, which is the second highest fall in Australia, waterfall. Didn't know that either, but seems to be. So let me show you a little bit around. There is a walk down to the bottom of the falls. Supposedly it's 680 steps or so, but we were already quite late in the day and wanted to get to camp a bit earlier, and also had done enough walking, so we decided not to go down to the bottom of the falls. But I reckon Ellenborough Falls, if you're in the area, is well worth a look. Now we're heading back to Pole Hut and hope that it's not a favorite camp spot for the locals, because it is now Friday afternoon. Anyway, so if that is available, we're gonna set up camp there for the night. We all have to dry out a bit our sleeping bags. I mean, it's not really wet, just from the condensation, so would be good to get a bit of sunlight. And we should be there by around, what do we have now? 2 o'clock, I reckon. Gathering a bit of firewood. Our camp for the day, Paul's hut. So all the chaos here is because of this. I thought I lost my camera. To be honest, in 15 years I think I never lost something, but there is at least 50 times where I thought I lost something, but it's always somewhere. And I forgot at Waterfall Falls, I put the camera in my big camera bag so it doesn't fall out of my pocket. And yeah, so I unpacked half of the car. And one of the last things to look for was in my camera bag for my big camera. And here it was at the bottom, hidden underneath.
When we set up camp, we didn't know anything about the Grizzly history of this hut, which we would learn only a bit later.
We're going for a little walk with Roberto.
Ah,
The
good
explorer.
evening.
He found a little swimming hole.
Well, a wading pool.
Wading pool, okay. That's only going to be a very quick one, but it's fresh. Plenty of fish here. So, filled up my Catadine, water, and also got that new GME with me, just in case. Well, have to use it now for the next few years. We'll see how it goes. The only minus I found so far is it has no USB-C charging. So that is really a pity. But otherwise, very nice, and a lot of the features which the XRS has. Can I have a look in your bedroom?
Oh, okay. Don't fluff my sheets.
You should open the windows and air it a bit through, mate.
Oh, that'll be okay.
Well, you've got your brekkie plates ready.
Yep, there for you for brekkie for toast in the morning.
Good. Can't be bothered cooking. And I have some Radix meals to try. That is smoky barbecue.
Camp ovens and dampers and all.
It contains
Now they've all when we were away.
rich and smoky tomato flavored ready-to-eat meal with rice, quinoa, vegetables, herbs, spices. This time I let it rest, and I only ripped up the top part so I can close it. We'll see how they taste. Tomato I like. Gotta stir it properly. That is important. That looks good actually. They haven't tried, or Radix hasn't had anything tomato based, so I love tomato. That's a good thing.
Just you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's wrong now?
Just making it.
Oh, for fuck.
Hey guys, I'm here with Andrew, is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
And Andrew will tell us a little bit of the hut.
Yep, and the history.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, not sure when it was built exactly. Old loggers hut. Pretty much the area behind us had kitchen and amenities for several forestry staff over time. There was a fuel station out the back, so it's pretty much self-sufficient.
So it was a real camp here. There were more buildings, or?
Yeah, pretty much right up behind you there. Bit of an igloo shape type thing. There's a separate kitchen to the hut and a fuel shed down the back. So basically this was like a camp area for establishing sort of plantation industry up through Bulga Forest. And pretty much around us is an arboretum of pine that they planted all through the estate to see how did it actually grow back in the day.
Because you see all different kinds of trees around here, which usually wouldn't belong here, I would think.
Yeah, pretty much. You got Mexican pine. We're standing underneath western red cedar
Okay.
from North America, and there's a couple of Californian species here as well that they've trialled, and that's when they ended up going with radiata pine.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Must have
Interesting.
had the growth rate they needed for this area.
And there's a bit of a sad story to that hut.
Yeah, a few years back, young girl was murdered in the hut. Took a bit of the fun factor out of camping in it away, but yeah, a bit of a sad story. You can probably find that on the internet if you looked.
Yeah, but it's great that you guys look after it a bit.
Yeah,
look after the area.
We're trying to focus a bit more, put a bit more effort into it and try and get it back to what it used to be.
Yeah. No, awesome, because it's a beautiful spot. We saw that yesterday. We actually went back from Ellenborough Falls, came back here to camp for the night.
Yeah.
But we thought, shit, that's such a nice spot.
Yeah, the murder stories put a little bit of a heavy spin on a stay at an otherwise beautiful place. Chopper, as an ex-paramedic who slept in the hut, it didn't bother him much hearing the story the next morning. And I certainly would also go back there. But yeah, it is obviously sad.
Yeah, the cells here can be quite treacherous, especially after rain. There have been people trapped in there for several days and need to leave their car down there and walk out because it is very steep and can be quite slippery. However, no rain yesterday, no rain today, so should be good. I was on 35 psi, gonna go down to 25. Forward momentum stopped, got a tree over the road, need the chainsaw to clear that.
We're taking the Cells Jeep trail down into the Cells, and it became evident fairly early on that no people had traveled the trek before us in recent time. There were no tire marks, quite a few big puddles, and, as we're about to find out, plenty of trees down. Gold mining activities at Cells Creek, a tributary of the Cells River, began in earnest in 1887. The area became known as the Cells due to the remains of cell wagons, which housed convict road gangs who built the road between New England and Port Macquarie in the early 1840s. Unfortunately, there are no remnants of that cell wagons left now.
Robert, there's our swimming pool.
It is a very picturesque four-wheel drive only area, and we had it all to ourselves, which is even better. One of the remnants of the gold mining history is this old 5-head stamper, which is still at the same location where it was placed over 100 years ago. It must have been very busy here in the 1890s. There was even talk of establishing a school down here.
Campers?
Yeah.
Those big heavy weights?
Yep.
And back home we call this a battery. I don't know what they call them, a stamper battery. And what it does is when that turns, that cam picks up on that plug, lifts it up, and when it gets to the top, the cam comes up and it drops.
Yeah.
And it crushes in the other side. There's a hole
Yep.
where they shovel in the rock, and that comes down, and these big weights crush the ore. and then take it out the bottom, and then I'll take it down the river and put
And
it
wash
through
it.
a sluice. And I'll separate the gold from the rock.
Down in the cells you have plenty of creek crossings, which can become treacherous after heavy rain. I originally planned to have lunch at the Cells Hilton, which wasn't too far away, but given the amount of trees we had down and the clearing we done, I thought we may as well have lunch here along this beautiful creek, because you never know how many trees we encounter till we hit the Cells Hilton. Lunch for me were a few sandwiches with hummus, dried tomato and salami. It turned out that there were no more trees down until we reached the Cells Hilton, which is just a little shack someone named the Hilton.
Cells Hilton. Hasn't changed much.
Low flying duck.
Welcome to the Hilton, Rob.
It's lovely. It's got
Oh, Sammy and Hands were here in
furniture.
2014.
spare cable ties to hold your.
Just a short walk behind the Hilton is an old mining shaft. Make sure you take a headlamp and you may be lucky enough to see some of the tiny beds inhabiting it. From the Hilton you can also take a walk down the creek, which brings you to a few water holes and waterfalls, and it's definitely worth it. In summertime there are some excellent swimming holes as well.
Yeah, the goat is, I think, one pool further. Oi, oi, oh, Robert. Robert.
Especially the walk down to the second falls requires some rock hopping and sliding down some rocks, so I would recommend sturdy footwear, and if you're not steady on your feet it's probably not the right thing to do.
Huh? Yeah, you should. Doesn't look that gracious, though.
Just before the second falls go down it became a bit sketchy without really getting completely submerged in water, and we decided to turn around. It's still a great little walk. Plan around half an hour to
Get through
45
there?
minutes
Over.
to get there and back.
You end up down in there.
Unfortunately, it was time to leave the cells because we had Udale's hut booked for tomorrow, but we couldn't leave before having our quick swim in the Cell Creek. Corncob Fire Trail was the only trek I've never taken to get out of the cells, so I was keen to see what that trek is about.
Yeah, Corncob Fire Trail out, very long, pretty steep, some very tight switchbacks, a few good ruts, and yeah, it's interesting, that's for sure. Probably the most interesting on these trips so far. There's some good ruts here, but yeah. And the steepness, you certainly don't want to do a roly-poly down here. It's a long way down. Very pretty, but not much traveled. I don't know, we probably cleared by now 5 or 6 trees here. We just managed to get out of the cells and now making our way towards Mooraback Campground, hopefully. Robert likes to talk a lot, so I gave him a little friend. To talk to.
While I had a rough idea which areas we would be exploring on this trip, the only location really booked was Udale's hut, and that was for tomorrow. So we're now making our way out to Mooraback Campground so that we can get nice and early into Udale's hut on the next day.
Big Roo. And have you seen Freddy?
Freddy. Oh, this is for you.
You have found Freddy.
You're trying to pass the crabs on to me.
You have found Freddy. No, I thought that you have a little friend you can talk to in the car. That you don't feel lonely.
What, like Wilson?
No, like Freddy.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm still using the Flextail pump. Yeah, it's doing very well. They sent me one of their small pumps as well, which is in the car. But that one didn't work. Funnily, I tried it at home once and it worked. Then it was in the car now for a few months. It doesn't work anymore. I assume battery, I'm not sure, maybe something internal. But this one here now, I don't know, nearly a year and it's doing its job. So I definitely like it.
On the way out to the campground, Rob unfortunately got bad news that a family member was very ill. So he had to leave us the next morning very early and could not join us to Udale's hut, which was really a pity. Anyhow, we had the whole campground all to ourselves, and what better way to wrap up this episode? Around the campfire with a fantastic group and thankfully no rain. In the next episode, after parting with Rob, Chop and I make our way towards Udale's hut, facing one of the steepest treks in the area. It leads us to one of my top 3 favorite valley campgrounds. We'll then head over to the picturesque Daisy Plains, where we discover a beautiful swimming hole and waterfall, a true hidden gem. After a refreshing swim, we settle into the old login cabins, only to be roused by a dramatic thunderstorm. Don't miss it. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please keep in mind this is a self-funded channel, so I would greatly appreciate if you could help me out by sharing, liking and subscribing. And if you can, please consider head over to Patreon or buy me a coffee, and with the equivalent of a cup of coffee or 2 per month, you can really help me making these videos. Thanks a lot for watching and see you along the treks.